Welcome to the stream. I am Artsume. If you didn't know already. Hello everyone. Welcome to Friday. Welcome back. It's been too long. It's been a whole 7 days. It's been too long. Anyway. I'm cold. I don't know what happened because I wasn't cold earlier and now I am. I might be in blanket mode for this stream. Don't hate on me, okay? It's really comfy. See inside? It's a very comfy material. But yeah, I'm cold. This is not just a chill stream. It is also, therefore, a cozy stream. But yes, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. As I said earlier, I'm Artsume, and I'm really happy to have you here. Ooh, excuse me. So, funny story. I was probably asleep up until 20 minutes before I started the stream. So I got off of work early-ish. I got off of work, I came home, I let my dog out, we chilled for a little bit, I had a little snack, and by then it was already maybe like 5:45. Oh, just in time. Absolutely. Yeah, you're here in time for just me rambling. But yeah, I fell asleep on the couch. No, I told myself, I'm just gonna take like a little power nap. And so I basically was like, let me set a 30-minute timer, because it was like 5:45, 30 minutes, then that would be about 6:15. And so 6:15 rolls around and my phone goes off. I have, of course, fallen asleep. And I also decided to rest my eyes for a little longer. So I think I was like kind of a little dozy still. And I looked down at my watch and it said 6:41. I was like, oh, I need to get up. So I took a power nap. Hopefully that helps with my energy. That comforter is dangerous to bring while working. I know, but I'm cold and I already fell asleep. And I also have an energy drink with me, so. But that being said, I could just turn the heater on. But why waste the heater's time, you know? We're in this very weird, and I say this for where I live, being North America. We're in this weird, like, springtime where we haven't had our time change yet. And it's like, it's been hot. It's definitely been hot. It's been warm. It's been really beautiful out. This is probably my favorite time of year, in terms of the weather and feeling comfortable being outside, where like the sun is out and the sun, it's like it's chilly in the shade, but when you step out into the sun it's warm. Really nice. And the only thing that interferes with my tolerance of being outside this time of year is the pollen. So, but that being said, today and yesterday were cold. It is cold and rainy, but it's supposed to be getting better in the weekend. A little bit of promo and a little conversation. Just want to say that for some of you, you might be here on my video right now, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube, because you found me on Instagram. But if you have not found me on Instagram, then definitely check me out. It is at Artsume Shay, or at Artsume_Shay on Instagram. Definitely check out that Instagram. I try to post memes a little bit more. That I breathed in too hard. That is for you, not free range. I mean, I guess it kind of is. That is for you. I want to say probably 15 minutes before I plan to end the stream. That is not required. Listen, class. Class that is not required. It is optional. But yes, that is correct. It is easier to edit out for the VOD if media shares at the end. Because I was looking through and I was like, oh. And it's not even editing out because it's not something I want to include. It's also for purposes of like copyright and other things like that. Or if a video is just not something that I want to have on YouTube, etc. There. So that is your that is your time, or anybody else's time, at the end of the stream. That way Artsume does not have to go through too much annoyance while editing the VOD. So Instagram, definitely check me out on there. I like to post stories and I like to post updates on that front. YouTube.com slash at Artsume is where you're watching this now if you're watching the VOD. If you're only following me on Twitch, then you're missing out on the other videos I post, so definitely subscribe and such. I want to say that on here, as well as on YouTube, where this video will end up, I have had a secret goal. that it's not like a secret, it's maybe an open secret. But since getting back on YouTube, I want to say, oh my gosh, I don't even know. When was my when was my most recent video? Oh my god, my brain. Let me see when I posted that New York video. Okay, as of 8 months ago, I have had a goal to hit 500 subscribers. And that goal, the day is fast approaching. At this very moment, we are currently at 443 subscribers. So it has been my goal to put quality, consistency, and whatnot into my videos to hopefully see some type of growth and improvement. And that day is definitely steadily coming, because as of my VOD that I posted last week, just 7 days ago, I believe. Let me see. As of last week, I had 427. So that's like 20 plus subscribers. Anyway, all that being said, if you like what you see, if you like the videos and just the vibes that I introduce, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. And my goal when we hit 500 subscribers on the YouTube channel is to do a 500 subscriber Q&A video. Subscribe so Shay streams more. Correct. And that has been also really fun to do. I obviously have not been able to stay away, despite, I think that, and I talk about this in one of my videos, there are eras in, sometimes when you're online that you're like, okay, I'll try this out for a little bit. That doesn't stick. I try this out, etc. I feel like I'm in like a sweet spot. But yes, definitely consider subscribing to the channel. That way, once we hit 500 subscribers, we are able to do a Q&A video, and I'll put more information on that once the time hits. Yes, 500 subscribers is definitely a goal that I set that I did not think I was gonna come close to until like the end of this 2024 year, but we'll see. And then last but not least, there is of course my webcomic, Space Ultima. The description has the links to that. I work on my webcomic on stream fairly often. Today, actually, I'm not doing webcomic work. I'm just doing original art with some characters from my webcomic in it. So, yeah. But other than that, today I'm gonna try something out. I'm gonna try to be a little more talkative during the stream, because one thing I noticed with the stream versus the VOD is that people can engage with the chat on the stream, but people watch the VOD, and it isn't until recently that I've gotten comments on the VOD. So I thought maybe I can just go over some topics in my brain, and of course random chatter being that, just some things that either have been on my mind lately or kind of podcasty, I guess. But like I said, I'm just gonna, when I feel the need to talk, definitely talk about these things. It was thanks to the channel I found your content. Nice. I also say hi. I finally made it to the stream. I usually watch them on YouTube after the fact. Oh, there we go. Podcasting alone is hard though. It is, unless you're a yapper like me. Because I do be yapping. Awesome. Gunsda. Yes, I recognize you from Instagram actually. Super cool. Thank you for joining us. And it's super cool to have you here. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I see kind of like some overlapping, which is super fun. Because it's like I see somebody, you know, in the comments on one video, and then I see that they follow me on Instagram. Or like I see them in my Instagram and I see them comment on like my webcomic and things like that. It's nice. Hello, Heru. How are you today? So when we introduce guests, when we introducing guests for the podcast, well, I wouldn't call it an outright podcast. It's more of just me deciding to be a little bit more talkative. I mean, I don't know. I see a lot of creators who go from making YouTube videos or making TikToks, and then they decide to go to like long form content like podcasts. Personally, I've never really thought about doing a podcast, but mostly because I don't know what it would be about. You know, we gotta get the controversial figures in there so we can rake up the views. Oh, I don't know. I don't want to rage bait anybody. Okay, well, Andrew Potato. Is he is saying his name banned from the algorithm or whatever? I don't know. And of course, I think the other thing too is that I wouldn't want to have just like an exact focus on like what I talk about too. Mostly because I feel like my brain, I have so many interests. That's the thing. So I guess a podcast would help because, you know, I've got mostly my like interests, kind of nerdy interests and concept and ideas and whatever art centered things on like most of my content, but then of course like everyone else we like a bunch of things. Isn't that guy in prison? Nah, he just doesn't deserve to have his name said correctly. Yeah, I agree, Lark. I agree. Okay, but it's the same guy I thought it was. Crazy dude. Yeah. And that's the other thing too. I feel like at one point I had considered being like a commentary type channel. But I feel like the topics these days, even the commentary channel people are like getting criticized now, so that just is not good. Okay. Alright, so I thought that, so my idea for this, I saw this very funny photo on Pinterest. I'm sure most of us kind of use Pinterest as like a mega resource hub when it comes down to images and things like that. And I saw this picture, and I think maybe you guys might recognize this picture if it's been or come across your timeline. And I was like, this is such a quirky like photo. So this is actually kind of like a reference for what I'm thinking about, well, what I'm going to be doing, which is like a class picture type thing. But it's just an excuse to draw all of my characters. So that's what I'm working on today. Let's see. I think it was released last year already. His behavior apparently changed since, but I haven't kept up. But I'll end that topic there. Yeah, group picture! I still think I need to make some adjustments, so... Actually... Trying to make some... Okay. Yeah, it was right. But I think the most like relevant topic of conversation, let me read this first. I love Pinterest, but I have to be careful on there because I tend to spend many hours on there scrolling for inspiration and barely drawing. Yes, I find that I will kind of like designate times to doing it in a way. Like if I'm feeling, oh, I need to, there's this pose or this drawing that I want to do, I want to like start pulling some ideas, then that'll be something that I'll like start just kind of sitting down on. But yeah, Pinterest can be definitely a black hole or something like that where you're like, ooh, what's this? like Instagram or something like that. What I'll do is I will get on, so that my apps of rotation are definitely Instagram, unfortunately, Pinterest for sure, but also YouTube. I'll like scroll through my timeline and like any video that looks interesting to me, I'll like bookmark or put on my watch later list. I got reminded of how they did the cover for SMTV on Original versus Vengeance. Don't know if pictures are for the media share mode as well. I don't see why not. I think that's fine. But yeah, it's something of recent that I found very funny and very interesting. Have you guys seen anything about that Willy Wonka experience? Listen, I'm gonna give a moment for the comments to roll in, because I have my thoughts as well. But for those of you not in the know, so I've heard of it. Big hot mess apparently. Yeah, really funny. But I don't know the full lore. Okay, so as of like, I want to say this week, this literally probably happened this week. You know, there's something that has been frequenting the social landscape often, that being these experiences or pop-ups or just something where people get to do a walkthrough and it's usually themed around something. Now, my personal experience with this is this brand or this company called Fever. They partner with Netflix on in-person experiences, and they had a Stranger Things experience that happened, I want to say, just around the most recent season. I don't think they're doing it anymore, so I don't think I can like spoil anything. But, you know, Vecna has an appearance, and so with that, you have a lot of people who like sign up for this experience, and then they arrive and they get to experience it, whatever. And like I said too, you know, they're kind of like more pop-up related. And so I think the event organizers just wanted to get a quick cash grab by making AI generated website to scam people ongoing the Willy Wonka experience. Actors who were hired to be there were in a really bad position, particularly the depressed Oompa Loompa lady. Yeah, I'll discuss more about that in a moment. But from interviews, she was really actually a very sweet lady and tried to make the best out of the people who came. She really wants to get into children's entertainment. Aw, that's sweet and sad. Because it's sad because she saw and answered an ad to participate in what you're saying. But she unfortunately did not get what she was bargaining for, which now she's kind of memorialized on the internet in a weird way. So yeah, these people, it was a organization called House of Illuminati, which first of all is your first red flag, in my opinion, because Illuminati already has, I guess, word association that isn't on the positive side. And yeah, I'll probably do a quick Google search at some point to find out for real that name alone is strike one. Yeah, I want to find out what other events they've done. So House of Illuminati put together this event. They utilize unedited AI image generation for not only the promotion art, they use it on a preview image of what you should expect. So already you're telling people, hey, this is what it's going to look like, and it actually doesn't. And then you have the AI written promotional words. So like the print ad is riddled with spelling errors and grammar that nobody would ever use. It's really baffling to me because on that note, a lot of big businesses have been trying to slowly integrate artificial intelligence, or should I say generative intelligence, into their copywriting, into their marketing. And so for me, it's like, I get that. It's as depressing as it might be for some, you know, businesses are trying to make money. But I just found it interesting that this small company, House of Illuminati, they didn't even spell check any of it. I'm like, dang, you guys, like, were really caught red-handed. So anyway, they put together this event, this Willy Wonka themed, and then you show up, they spend like $40 a ticket, and for $40, you get a warehouse with a couple of candy props that is scary to look at, and you get one jelly bean and half a cup of lemonade. So my question, that kind of the whole situation baffles me, because it's like, how did you guys think you were going to get away with it? So I have some theories. says, remember that one part in Metal Gear Solid 2 where the Colonel makes you answer a question, what's real and what's not? That's now. Where you question where was it? We are in the future where we can't tell if anything is real. 3 jelly beans? Okay. Still. That's three jelly beans, 2 less. So anyway, my theories range from this being legitimate or this being a scam. Now, my reasonings for thinking this is legitimate is that they maybe overplanned the scope of the project, and whoever the chain of command that tried to, put this together, maybe late deadlines, maybe not showing up, doing what they needed to do, things fell through the cracks, and then the unfortunate floor troops who, are being told what to do had to put together whatever they could. I saw someone say that maybe if the location size was smaller, maybe it would have been all right. Like maybe if they had have consolidated to a smaller location, you got all of those giant candy props in a smaller area, maybe it would have been a little better. But still, it's not very good. And yes, it's definitely been compared to some other bigger experiences that, once again, they plan for a big scope, money, they either run out of money, they either do this or that, and it just kind of becomes what it is. I was wondering what's worse, this or that one Tumblr convention, DashCon, I think it's called. Oh my god, that is DashCon, that is a Roman Empire for me. See, I think DashCon is worse. That one was a tornado. Willy Wonka was just nothing. Then again, I guess you could make an argument for nothing being worse. Yeah, it's just wild. So now if you go into the scam territory, here's where I feel less like it's a scam. Well, I don't want to say less like a scam, but if you think about it, if it is a scam, why even have people show up in the first place? Well, actually, as I'm saying it, I kind of think about like this, the guy who, it's definitely a scam. Yeah, it's definitely a scam. If you are literally using AI to generate your concepts for this, but yeah, anyway, I just felt like things fell through the cracks, and the only people who we can feel sorry for are the people who were the honest ones, who showed up to get that paycheck, to do the work. The Willy Wonka guy literally had a script that was filled with generative mumbo jumbo. An experience. The scam was the experience. Yeah, those kids, they experienced something that day. Because the other funny part was that out of all of this, you've got Willy Wonka, the Oompa Loompas. You also have this original character who was like, what was he called? Locke, you probably can say it. The original character literally was scaring children. I was scared. The Unknown! Which, if you think about it, in a weird way, that's a very creative name for a character that is not in the original lore of the story. Somebody says, hey, what's that? You say, I don't know. They're like, oh, the Unknown. See, that had probably the most creativity added to it. But That being said, there were, like we mentioned earlier, the Oompa Loompa woman, who she has taken the internet by storm in a funny way. I've seen fan art of her already. So, as you know, Oompa Loompas are part of the Willy Wonka lore, and they're typically small men, and in this case, it was a full-size woman with a green wig who, her expression is the expression that resonates with any retail worker. It resonates with anybody who has to wake up and show up to their job by 8 a.m. She just had, like, all of the concern and sadness in her face. People are comparing what her little, candy making concoction area. It was like, some people were comparing it to like a meth lab, because it was like beakers and other like sciencey equipment. How did they come across that? I don't know. My man looked like he jumped straight out of a Tim Burton film. Yeah, this man was the unknown was supposed to like come out of mirrors. So he just had like this like long mirror that he would like peek out of. He had a mask and a wig and like a black cloak. In the video where, the most popular video where he shows up, he literally, he comes out and the kids are like, ah! It is so weird and bizarre. And yeah, so that being said, it's like, how? Real me, yeah. She's me on Monday morning. Did you read her interview? I did not read her interview. I've only heard, I believe, about, what she has said. So I've heard snippets. So my biggest curiosity too is that for me, and probably most of you who are on the internet, who are around, the age of internet kind of becoming like really big. So like millennial to Gen Z, and then maybe a little older. I feel like we grew up with a level of media literacy that, you see something, you can tell it's AI. Even if they really try their hardest to absolutely generate an image that is so, well crafted. I feel like for few people, AI is pretty easy to detect. For some, it's not. There's a quiz I had taken, just a random quiz, and basically it was like looking through different images, and it was like, can you tell which one is AI and which one is not? Personally, I scored 100 on it. But I realized that that's not everybody. So I guess for most people who are looking at this from like an outsider's perspective, I see the AI promo. I see the image of what it's gonna look like. And I think to myself, I don't trust that. I don't want to do that. That doesn't look real. So I don't know. I think that's where I'm coming from too. But also too, I totally agree that the people deserve, to get refunds. The police were called, apparently. Let's see here. Vulture interview asked her what she was doing in the picture. It doesn't even look like me. I was thinking when it came out initially, people aren't going to know it looks like me. Maybe I can get away with this, but no, it went completely global. The other Oompa Loompa came over at this point, and I went, where is everyone? Why am I left here on my own? Where is everyone else? you know how they talk about me contemplating my life. This is me contemplating my life. I'm laughing about it now, but I was so angry for the kids and the parents. I know people spent a lot of money coming here. It's a disservice to what I do. Eventually, I just walked off. Yeah. I was like, I'm done, but someone got a picture of me. Kirsty Peterson. There's always going to be something in the image that gives it away. It's the uncanny valley thing. Yeah. It definitely is, and on that kind of topic, it becomes concerning because they're wanting, I mean, even if you think about, so you have AI images, which are a lot easier to create versus video. And that video of like Will Smith eating spaghetti, which is such nightmare fuel, I feel like the video itself is how a nightmare would play out in your head. What's up, baby? You gonna get your toy. You gonna get your toy. What's up, baby? You smell me? Frightening, yeah. No, it's so, but yeah, like, and I don't think that the only thing that's come out as like an update of that is that Will Smith himself has done like a video of him eating spaghetti, which is just saying, oh, it's me, it's actually me. But anyway, video of that now, or video that's like generative, is a lot more realistic. The real Will Smith eating spaghetti. So anyway, yeah, it's just so interesting, and it's stuff like that is like a cautionary tale. I feel like it almost has to happen for people to like see and think, okay, I don't want this to happen to me, so I'm going to be more vigilant of these scams and be more just more aware. Because like I said, I can look at those images and be like, that's fake, I don't want to participate in it, but then other people are going to show up still. It's not going to really stop anybody. But hopefully it can spread more awareness. Made her pupils a little bigger than I wanted. I won't lie, I do think AI is impressive, but in my opinion, I feel like regardless of what it creates, it will always be missing that human touch. Yeah, I agree. I think that AI as a tool has always actually been a thing. I find it funny that now certain brands and companies and apps, they will advertise that their app uses AI, when in reality they've actually, hey, guess what? It's always been AI. So I just find that funny. Like, for example, I'm using Duolingo right now. Yes, the bird has been threatening me every day of my life. And so I don't have a Super Duolingo. So every time I finish a lesson, it will give me an ad. And upon getting that ad, it advertises all the stuff that it offers to like try to sell me on getting Super Duolingo. And one of the things it advertises is like AI learning, so that way when you finish a lesson, it will automatically understand how you're thinking about things. And I'm like, does it really? Is it though? Let's see. AI is gonna become so commonplace that human-made art is going to become more of a novelty as time goes on. Friendly reminder, AI isn't intelligent. It's still just a database that tries to simulate human speech while relaying info. Yeah, I think that's just kind of the buzzword at the moment. But I watched this artist, I forget his name. He's pretty well known. But he did a video talking about it when it was like really a talking point. Trying to find it. Anyway, but he talked about how, like you said, if it becomes a thing where artificial intelligence for art making, visual creation becomes so common. And this is an interesting point of view, and I can see the point for sure. I should have kept our eyes like that. But he made a point that they're gonna need art directors, they're gonna need artists still when it comes down to artificial intelligence being used more. But on the flip side, if you are one of those who does still draw, your prices can go up. And in the end, that's beneficial for you, because now they're like, oh, well, we really want an actual artist to create this piece. And then they could end up paying you double because you use, you know, an original artistic form. I don't know. It's just kind of like a prediction in a way. But I find that interesting, and I can see how that's might end up happening, I guess. Because, you know, you don't want that to be the case where I feel like anybody who does currently create art is going to continue to do that. I feel like we are not too into the future yet where people are gonna, like, you know, just say, oh, I'm gonna drop my pencil and change and join the dark side. Or something like that. I don't think that we're at that point. I think that people who currently draw, who love and enjoy the art of art making, I think that they are going to continue to do that. But I've been thinking more lately for future generations, I guess. So for example, I was watching this video. It was very interesting because they showed a screenshot of like the original Twitter, and it was like Twitter, like with their big bubble letters, where they still had like the bird being so prevalent. And I saw that, I was like, you know what, nobody in the next 10 to 20 years, nobody's going to recognize that app as Twitter anymore. Anybody who is born at this very moment, so they're growing up from this point on. From this point on, in the next 10 to 12 years, they're only going to know X. It's not until they like have more awareness of the internet and do their own research that, you know, it's like, oh, X used to be called Twitter. But if you're born like this point on, you're only going to know X. So what I mean to say with AI is that I'm more afraid for future generations. Because right now we're like, oh, AI art, boo, yuck, hiss. But I'm thinking about for future generations, that, like you said, Lark, they're gonna think that's more commonplace. That's not gonna be abnormal to them. If anything, we are in the Stone Age and thinking that that's a bad thing. So that's the part that kind of freaks me out. Not to be I don't know. I might have freaked you guys out. I'm sorry for that. But it's something to think about. And I think that's where schools really come in play. Because if schools are not teaching, you know, art history, they're not teaching art studies, and not including that, then what's going to happen is that these kids are going to grow up and they're not going to find that important. And that's the part that I don't want to happen. Oh, for sure, AI isn't going to stop me from posting my little drawings into the void. Let's see. I still remember how old YouTube and Instagram looked. I know. Instagram did this interesting thing where they had, like, you can add the old icons. It was like their anniversary or something. And you could add the old icons to your home screen. And so I did that for a little bit. I was like, this is weird. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Tracing art like you're doing right now used to be extremely frowned upon, actually. It says, I mean, for me, it's wild that some people never get to experience dial-up. Oh, yeah. Tracing, because tracing equals bad. Now it's become industry practice because people gotta keep up with deadlines. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is an evolving thing because one could argue that the entire platform of WEBTOON or webcomics like Tapas, one could argue that, and some people have tried, that it's not like real art. But even you think about, like, you know, Oscar-winning nomination animated movies. You know, when I realized, because, you know, you would see all these backgrounds, and background art, I love looking at it. It's definitely more time consuming, and that's why I don't do as much background art as I would like to. But you look at background art and it's so beautiful. But what they do is they use what's called kit bashing. So they will take images and collage them, and then they will render their artwork over it. If you go on ArtStation, there's a ton of kit bashes sets in their marketplace. And these things are allowing you, like you said, Lark, to not take time, but to save time. It's really just about the creativity. I think that's why maybe we still can't get our head around AI art, because you're seeing nobody put any effort except for writing a prompt. And I mean, I think I mentioned this on a stream randomly, where there was this girl who, or I don't know why I assume she's a girl, but there's a user online who does real life renderings using AI of book characters. And I think that's cool because she's not claiming to create these people. She is purely generating what these characters from these books are possibly going to look like based off of characteristics from the book. She's not claiming to write the characters. She's not claiming the photos of the models that are used in this, any of that. But it's like, it's when the AI generation is using the likeness and art style of existing artists who have gone through the work of creating and stealing in a creative way, all the other stuff. Who knows what real art is? Yeah, they still whine about tracing 3D models for certain circles of art community. I don't consider it bad nor cheating. I see it more as a tool to help facilitate the process. On a related topic, I'm sure you know the 3D CG anime used to look like absolute garbage. Now it actually reached a point where it looks great. Yeah, I agree. Early 2000s anime CGI was atrocious. It's come a long way. I know. I love the Okay, this girl is being so needy. Like, yeah, no, the new Trigun. Oh, I love it. I need to finish it actually, but yeah, when I saw the trailer for the new was it Vash Stampede character, I was like, oh, this looks good. Excuse you. I haven't seen the new Trigun yet. It looks fancy though. It is. And do be looking fancy. And I mean, on that note, I devoted a whole stream to practicing art. Like, I agree that, you know, I feel like, and I'm not, this isn't a you know, oh, TikTok bad stance, but I do see a lot of like videos that you have some videos that are shortcuts to becoming a better artist, but then you have shortcuts that kind of skip the very necessary labor and pain and blood, sweat, and tears that goes into, you know, understanding how lighting works or how drawing anatomy works and things like that. But yeah, I definitely think that I'm very glad that I did not immediately have access to this app. So Clip Studio Paint, or just even using an iPad to start drawing, personally, I'm glad that I started the hard way, because I feel like a lot of creativity is problem solving, and that's not what I need. And it's kind of hard to problem solve when you have an app that does like all the hard work for you. So I don't know, that might be controversial to say, but I feel like I'm glad that I did not kind of jump some important steps, I guess you could say. There's also a fancy new anime coming out called Girls Band Cry. I'll send you a trailer so you can queue it up for later. This is the one I sent you money to buy for. Did that happen? That was so long ago. I think maybe. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember. But there was a chance if you donated initially, that was probably where it went off to, so I would not disagree. I sent you, oh, you did! I do remember that now. Yeah, during a sale and urge you to buy it right away. I do remember that now. Oh no, my buttons. Don't mind me. Yes, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely, oh my gosh, you know what I realized? He needs to be higher. Oops. There we go. Let's see here. I enjoy TikTok for the most part, but the art community here, yeesh. See, when I grew up, I posted my cringe art in DeviantArt. Nowadays, kids get to put on blast for their bad anatomy or Mary Sue OCs. That's called a rite of passage. People can tell when someone uses tools they have no idea what to do with. I watched a video talking about using 3D models, how to use them. There are two videos. One video was how to make your models less stiff for when you do use them as references. And the other video was about how to use references and not draw them exactly. And I think that those two videos, I hope they've gotten the spread and reach that they should have. Cause yeah, it's like, and like mentioned before, you know, it's a rite of passage. We all have to make really cringy artwork. It's just how it goes. We all have to be very self-conscious about drawing hands to the point where we never have hands showing in our artwork. It's just the way it goes. Girl, you got your butt right in my face. You can have the most amazing technology and to create artwork, but if you have zero knowledge of fundamentals, you can only go so far. I saw a video on that, which makes me glad I never signed up for TikTok evermore. Nah, let's just hide hands behind the characters. I think it was called art lore. TikTok do be a hellscape, I won't lie. Yeah. Okay, can you... I gotta like reach around you. Like even now, like I feel when I'm using 3D models, I am also doing what I would do anyway if I didn't have a model underneath. Artists post artwork on TikTok. TikTok, yo, new art, lore dropped. Proceeds to bully artists for imperfection. Artist leaves. Oh, yeah, not fun. And that's the thing. You just hope that it doesn't get to the point where then that stops somebody from wanting to do art. And it's hard because like even with just the platform on its own, it's a thing where it's just a bunch of everybody's showing everything. Everybody's just showing. You guys are gonna get me started. It's like sometimes we don't need to see everything. And I think that's an issue. It's like there are certain things that become so escalated because of TikTok, when in reality people have been doing it already. It's just they didn't have a camera in their face to show it happening. And I say that very vaguely because I don't really want to get into a conversation around that. But yeah, it's just like I feel like the posting your art or posting on TikTok, especially if you're maybe not at a super experienced point, is like you're literally on stage and a spotlight's on you. See that the things cause no one starts that's the thing. Okay, see that's the thing, because no one starts off good. You gotta get bad in order to get good. Yeah. I've seen toxic characters in our community before, but never in this intensity or scale. I think it's because it's easy of how easy it is to proliferate information. In turn, it includes toxicity. Yeah. But you know what? That's why we're a positive community here. And I will literally just sit here and draw while my dog just puts her butt in my face. But girl, if you decide to let one, it's over. Let me not draw that that just yet. What are you doing? What are you doing? The greater art community of TikTok has no walls. It comes with both good and bad. Yep, pros and cons. Let's see. Hello. Hello, Edby Art. How goes it? How is your Saturday? Oh. I just got a dog in my face, that's all. Drawing along? Heck yes. That is what we like. Glad to have a bunch of very talented and chill and cool artists on the stream. You're like in the way of the. Ugh. Sit. I want you to sit. Sit, puppy. Sit. 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 Okay, then you're gonna go in the little bed. There you go. Or go walk around or something. Also saw your update of the comic this week. You're doing an awesome job with the consistent updates. Thank you. That means a lot to hear for sure. Yeah, that's definitely a thing that can, you know, kind of make and break doing that, but thank you. That's so nice to hear. I don't like his eyes. Let me start over. Oops. Here, let me just hit the rewind. Yeah, I uploaded this I uploaded this week's episode, and I was like, I hope this isn't too intense. And then someone was like, why would it be intense? And I was like, so I know, and if you haven't seen this episode 7, I won't like spoil anything, but there was a panel that I was drawing where I was feeling emotional drawing it, so I was like, ooh, which, I mean, I'm not going to be steering away from, you know, any topics really, especially in terms of my, you know, the story that I have planned out. But I was just like, we're starting to get into the meat of things, so that's what I meant. And I was like, but judging from the comments so far, it seems that it is being received, and that's the important part, is that you just want people to like be able to like understand what you're trying to do with your story. So good, let's get the meat and potatoes of this story. Definitely. How do you draw a half smile? We'll see. Sometimes I feel like with his character, I try to draw his expressions subtle, but then drawing them subtle, it's like you can barely tell. Literally, I will Google smirk. Yeah. Now that just looks derpy. Here, let me do it on this side. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like trying to not make it obvious. He's gotta play it cool. Anyway, it's whatever. It's art of things to come. Let's just say that. And what those things are to come, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't worry about it. I feel like that sometimes. Those are just go-to, I guess. Go get Toy Toy! Go get Toy Toy! Go get Toy Toy! Go get Toy Toy! Anyway. Well, that was a really good circle. That was a really good circle. Now I can't touch the canvas for the rest of the night. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh, so I'm about to draw some elf ears, or elfish ears. I just got some ears in the mail. And they were like very like, here, I can just grab them actually. I'll show off what I got. Okay, so I have some upcoming cosplay opportunities. So I'll be going to a convention in May, and then in April I hope to go to a Renaissance festival. I was supposed to go to a Ren Fair for the first time last year, only to realize that Ren Fairs are seasonal. So I did not realize that by the time I wanted to go, they were already over. So I was like, great. So that being said, now I have, I'll be getting my tickets and then going next month. Wait, oh my God, it's already March. But yeah, here are the ears, and they're really long. So the way that you apply them, you have to get like some, I guess, spirit glue or spirit gum, and then they go on your ear. They practically are like mittens for your ears. Here, let me part my hair. They look good quality too, yeah. So I got them off of Etsy, and initially, so I actually had, for this one cosplay I did, kind of the small ears. So yeah, they practically cup your ear. Here, let me. So I'm definitely gonna have to get the sweet spot. And they do really good. So they're like color matched really well. And yeah, they're like huge. They're the long, like super elfish ears. So I'm pretty excited. So yeah, I got them off of Etsy. And I'm glad that I got like actual like performance type high elf ears. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm planning on kind of dressing kind of fae-like. So I'm excited. But yeah, so I felt like, I don't know, I don't get a chance to draw fae as often as I would hope. So, but I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to do more artwork of my OCs. So. Oh, I'm not. My bad. I forgot to come back to it. You love fantasy content? I feel like I'm a little late to the fantasy game. Personally. I've always been, and even now. Oh, you used to play D&D? Oh, that's cool. One of these days I'm gonna play D&D. That's very, I don't know. I feel like I can't find, well, okay, I might get some backlash for saying this. I was gonna say I can't find people to play with. But I know people who play it. I just feel like it's a lot of work. But you might be able to correct me. Is it a lot of work? Because it's like, it's a lot of work. It's like character building, story building, which I already do. I feel like to an extent there's a huge amount of overlap between people who like write their own stories and people who play D&D. Listen, the people you play with make or break these. You said listen up. I've been through the trenches. Yeah, it's true. I've heard some horror stories. But yeah, I think yeah, so the fantasy arena, I'm kind of a late bloomer too. I've been reading more fantasy style style books, and yeah, it's just like this kind of like whimsical world and things. So I don't know. Obviously, a Ren Fair is a perfect excuse to dive into that world. So yes, it is a tiny bit of work, but it's been dumbified for people like me. Yeah, maybe I should just play Baldur's Gate and then I'll kind of get a little bit of a crash course in, you know, what all of that is about. Because I know that Baldur's Gate is what I hear a very good game for the replication of Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, Baldur's Gate 3 is fun. If you enjoy that game, you'll like D&D. Okay. That's good to know. comfy? Uh-oh. Yeah, I realized that. Thank you for letting me know, though. Yeah, apparently, okay, good. Sorry about that, everybody. It's not a often thing, but it has happened maybe 1 or 2 other times that my internet will just kick them off. I don't know why. But, like I said, good to have you all here. Sorry about that. Let me make sure everything is still operating the way it needs to. Okay, cool. Anyway, best fantasy experience by far is Shrek 2. Kidding. Kind of not really. Low-key not kidding. I just read the latest episode of Space Ultima. Ooh. Alright, I'm gearing up for your opinion. I noticed you used the mosaic filter. Were you intending to completely block it out? I don't know. Hold on, let me think about that. Mosaic filter. Maybe there was something that I left in. Says, I saw it was just monochrome compared to actually reflecting what's actually behind the filter. Oh, you're talking about, oh, right. You're talking about the censoring? Okay, I censored that on purpose, and yeah, so how you see it in the panel is exactly how I wanted it to be, yeah. The above 13 content. Yeah, that was on purpose. And in reality, I think for me, the reason I kept it in there was because I just felt it was funnier that way. She had enough of Yeah, that was the intention behind it. I thought it was funnier that way. It's kind of like how you'll like watch a TV show and instead of hearing the curse word, you'll hear like the bleeping sound. That's basically the equivalent. I got you. I was gonna say there's a better way to somewhat show what's behind the mosaic. Yeah, and I had thought about that. I thought about kind of like lowering the opacity just to kind of see if it would work. But yeah, I think for me, I was just like, I like how it is. Let's see. I like to call myself the mosaic censorship expert. I mean, to be fair, if anyone expected me to run 50 laps, I flipped them off too. Yeah, the panel like where she's like starts running, and I was like writing like wheeze. I was like, oh, relatable content. I was like, you want me to run? Mm-mm. That was felt. Well, good to know that there you guys are feeling what I'm throwing out there. That's funny. See, anyone watch the movie that recently came out? Madam Web, heard it was something. Oh man. So I have only seen, like, you know, obviously illegal recordings, but, you know, just like people who just are so baffled that some of this dialogue has reached the final cut. So, like, I have seen some of the snippets. I want to watch it, but I want to watch it with people. And I don't want to watch it in the theaters. Because I hear it's like, it's different than what we got with Morbius. It's like, you know, two chips made the same but taste different. That's how it's been described to me. Has anybody in chat seen the movie? Because, yeah, like, it is one of those movies where you're just like, how did this pass? She don't morb. Exactly. She doesn't morb. Morbius fried my brain, so I don't know if I want to put my singular brain cell at risk. Yeah. Because, see, people who know me, so along with, you know, me being very interested in art, I'm also a pretty big, I guess, when I was in college, I was definitely a cinema snob. I have since then very much lightened up. And I mean, I'm not saying that I didn't appreciate, you know, movies that were fun or anything, but, you know, like, I actually took classes on how to write and things like that. So, and filmmaking, etc. So, like, for me, sometimes I have to actively turn my brain off when I'm watching a movie. But I feel like this wouldn't be that hard of a movie to turn my brain off. And it helps that we kind of know what we're getting into. Because I think people felt like Morbius, they were like kind of, what's the word? Misled, I guess. Here we are not getting misled. We know exactly what we are getting ourselves into. So that being said, I feel like it might be kind of fun. But at the same time, yeah. I don't know what, because I feel like we all have that movie that's like, this is such a good, bad movie. I feel like that's what Madam Web has been. And for me, I feel like I am... I don't think that there's a science to it, so I'm not claiming anything, but sometimes I'll watch a trailer and I'll be like, I don't think this is gonna be good. And the movie comes out and then it's not good. And I remember other people, like the internet, when the Madam Web trailer came out, people were like, this doesn't look good. Excuse me. And it doesn't help that literally all of the action and all of the intense, cool stuff was in the trailer. People are mad because there was only like less than 2 minutes worth of scenes that had the female characters, the main girls, in their Spider Universe costumes. And that might be a spoiler, but I mean, I think that's something that is important to know because it's in the trailer. And so it's like the trailer is actively telling you what to expect, only for you to show up to the movie and be like, yeah, so I think in general we're experiencing superhero movie burnout. I think we're experiencing a decline in quality. I think that we're experiencing what the result of people being overworked and underpaid. or studios deciding to cut corners. Like, because don't get me wrong, like, so for example, I definitely was like, I don't want to say was, but I'm definitely a fan of that 2012 Marvel experience. Like, you remember pulling up into the theater and watching the first Avengers movie and then seeing all the different phases and up until like Endgame, like that holds so much memories, so many positive memories in my head. And it's that type of quality. Yeah, it's that kind of quality that makes you so happy. And when you know what they look like at their best, and then you see when they kind of waver from that, it's very noticeable. I think it's interesting because there's this meme that's like the different Marvel shows and movies, and it's just like, oh, superhero movies are dead. Oh, MCU is back on top. Oh no, they're dead. Oh man, we're coming back for you, baby. Like, it's that kind of stuff that it definitely feels like we're so spoiled, and we were spoiled, and then when we start getting like not so good stuff, then it's like, ooh, not the greatest. After Endgame, it just became so hard to top it. Yeah, they had so many ideas, and I can understand, you know, some people don't want to buy the Marvel Cinematic Universe DLC. That's not, of course, my joke. I stole that from the internet. But yeah, like, a lot of people don't want to pay, and with the surging prices of streaming networks, you know, a lot of people don't want to dish out money to watch a TV show that may end up being bad, and then you spent $14.99 on a streaming service just to watch one thing on there, and then that thing that you decide not to buy, hello mocap, we've been very, very talkative during this stream, so I'm sure the people watching the VOD are gonna have a lot of fun. So you almost have to keep up with the TV show because the TV show is so heavily involved in the main canon. And it was easy because, you know, Disney Plus was not the first time Marvel decided to do TV shows, of course. It was literally like, you know, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was, I think, the first thing, and then Agent Carter came out. The last one I personally enjoyed was No Way Home, but it was nostalgic for me because I grew up watching Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. Yes. Ditto to that. I like No Way Home too. In retrospect, it does have its plot holes, but it's a nice reset for Spider-Man, and then it's like, also you get all the Spider-Mans. Which at the time of watching it, I liked the Andrew Garfield one. I like Andrew Garfield anyway. But I was like, I don't think he should have got that much hate. Now, I think that Tom Holland is like a nice equilibrium, because he's like that like nerdy cool kid who is like, you don't hang out with that kid maybe, but like you think they're cool and chill. Anyway. But yeah, like that's the only issue. So Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and then I think they came out with Peggy Carter, Agent Peggy. Those were TV shows that were very loosely close to whatchamacallit, the Marvel stuff, but they weren't required reading, if that makes sense. They weren't, you know, necessary, but now they are necessary. And now they're also messing up the movie canon because of real life things such as, you know, the panorama I'm trying not to use flagged words. You know, things like the panorama and the writer's strike and just writing schedules. I think those are very real life things. And then also actors having to get recast because of unfortunate legal issues. Yes, it's like prerequisites for the movies. I feel like the overabundance of content is overwhelming for people to keep up with. Yes. Because Marvel is pumping out shows like crazy. Yes. Oh, they are. They really are. That was a loud sound. I know you guys probably didn't hear it, but yeah, so that is the issue. It's like they are pumping out a lot of shows. They just need to take a break. But you know the funny thing is that, how am I trying to draw her? What am I trying to do? I'm trying to think of an expression. Trying to draw like eye roll. Anyway, they should take a break, but they like money too much. Disney. I don't say this because it could potentially harm my chances of being employed by them someday. Which, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that either. So, I think I should just continue to consume their content and not have to work for them, because, I don't know. But they are definitely coming off, say nothing, remain silent. I just feel like there's a lot that I don't know what I'm trying to say. But going back to my earlier thought, I find it funny that when on Valentine's Day they officially announced, after the leaks and stuff, they officially announced Fantastic Four. When I tell you, the internet, the camaraderie, the banding together, everybody was pumped. Now, does that have to do with Pedro Pascal being Mr. Fantastic? It might have 99.9% to do with that, because he can do no wrong. But I think that the Fantastic Four, the original Fantastic Four movies, I really enjoyed. Like the original ones, the ones that Chris Evans was like playing as Johnny Storm, Human Torch. Those were, oh my gosh. And that was like early days too. You know, we had only the the Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, and then we got that franchise. Those were good. I really don't think they needed to touch them. I felt like, and there was another one that I don't even remember, because I didn't even watch it personally. I don't think I watched the newer one. And then you had what's his face from The Office, who played Mr. Fantastic in Doctor Strange. He is, yeah. Well, so that's the other part, is that you have MCU, which is Disney. Then you have Sony Marvel, and then you have 20th Century Fox Marvel. It's all, I should do a video about it. I'll just have like one of those like conspiracy theorist boards behind me. And I'll have like red string, because that's the thing. Going back to Madam Web, says, because that one was out, OMG, that guy, he died so nasty. They did them dirty. They did all of them dirty, because it's like, you guys put them on screen and they didn't last 5 minutes. Okay, and we're getting closer to time, so I should just go ahead. We're done with drawing, because I can't concentrate now that we're talking about Marvel. I can't focus really, because I can get in some conversations when it comes down to Marvel. But anyway, so the funny thing is, yes, Lark, we are about to get to media share time. No, it's okay. It's totally fine. Like, I looked at the time and then I realized, I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to shift gears. But the thing is, so there's a theory, going back to Madam Web. The theory is that the stars of Madam Web, Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney, the blonde girl, did not realize, and this is just alleged, they did not realize that they were not joining the MCU. They were joining Sony's Spider-Verse, what they're trying to concoct, because, you know, they've got the S tier, which is Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse, and then they got like their F tier working on whatever is coming out now. But apparently when they were promoting the project and announcing, oh, I got cast in Madam Web, super excited, and even allegedly Dakota Johnson was reaching out to other people who were in the Disney MCU, asking them for advice and stuff, they kept referring to the Marvel universe that Disney is creating, but they're not in that same universe, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, there's too many, you know, because of how distributing rights work, certain studios own certain characters. They don't own, there's no general Marvel. The only complete Marvel umbrella that you get is the physical comics. That's the only thing that you get if you are trying to have crossing over of these people. Okay, but yeah, this has been a super cool, chill, and fun stream. I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, feed the girl who has been desperate for attention, and yeah. But let's see, some things coming up. Nighty night. I am going to be posting an update, I want to say this coming week on Monday, so keep an eye out for that. I will be streaming next Friday, of course. Pet the Snoot. But yeah, thank you guys all for showing up and hanging out and, you know, lurking or just being here. Once again, social media is linked below if you're on Twitch or if you're on stream, and also in the VOD. But that is the end of my night. Have a good night, or morning. Talking to you, Lark. But yeah, cool. See you guys around.